gathered out here today on the steps of City Hall, the people steps, send a message to the mayor and to our city council, who appoint the board members of the Tax Commission, which is our regular board. TLC is getting ready to vote on June 20th on a swooping set of 12 regulations that would really crush the income of taxi drivers. And this is after we finally won a fare raise less than a year ago. So what these 12 new rules would do is essentially raise the money that the drivers pay to the companies, and it would drain us of our income. So they include, for example, and if there is an accident or any kind of a mechanical mishap, even though the garage owns the car, they're responsible for the maintenance, for the servicing. They have their own mechanic shops. They are responsible for the insurance. They choose the policy, the coverage, all of that. But still, the garages want to pass down the cost of the repairs onto the drivers. In our city, that has been unheard of because New York City taxi drivers pay really high leases for a shift. And so if we have to pay for repairs, I mean, it just not only would it be economically crushing, but we just think at the heart of it is such an attack on any sense of even consumer rights that we might have.
May 14th, the New York Taxi Workers Alliance managed to get a TLC meeting canceled. Could you step through exactly how you managed to get that to happen?
Well, the old-fashioned way. We had hundreds of drivers. We filled up the street, where the street on which the TLC headquarters is located. We had hundreds of drivers during rush hour. No cars. It was just people. We were standing out there shouting, holding up signs. We had a lot of media presence out there, and we really brought out this issue of what these 12 new rules are going to do to the livelihoods of drivers. And as a result of it, there's been a lot of contention and division on the TLC board. We're not there yet, but neither are the fleets. We know that we have 3 supporters right now. The other 5 commissioners are more in line with the fleets, but we do believe that at least 1 or 2 of them can be brought over to understand that this is a simple matter of justice. You don't give with one hand and take it away with the other.
So you think with, as a direct result of drivers' activism, TLC's paying, do you think they're at least paying much more respect to drivers than they were before?
Oh, without a doubt. And not just the TLC, even the media and the public at large. I mean, there's no question, right, that we still have a really long way to go. And there's still too many issues around safety and all of that the drivers face. But I'll tell you, when I first started organizing in 1996, when our organization first started, every year the tabloid papers in New York would run a front page article of the 10 worst drivers and put photos of the drivers. And then in 1998 we went out on strike. In 2007 we went out on strike. Since those days of the strikes in 98, I've never seen a front page like that again. When workers stand up, everyone follows.
What do you think is the secret to organizing drivers?
The magic is with the drivers. Drivers know. Working people in general know in their heart and in their gut when they see an issue of justice. The mistake that too many of our brothers and sister drivers make is they ask themselves, if I stand up, will it do anything? Don't ask yourself that question. Ask yourself, do I see injustice? And if you see injustice, then rise up. Eventually we can defeat it. It is the oldest story in the history of the world that the people united cannot be defeated. It is the only way to make change.
A couple last questions. Do you have any special message for drivers in Washington who are currently going through a lot right now?
Absolutely. We want to say to our brothers and sisters in Washington, D.C., that you have our support and our solidarity. We've been following this struggle. We understand the issue with the technology and the meters that the drivers have been facing over the past several years. We have gone through that. We walked that path ourselves, so we understand the directness of that struggle. We also know that safety is a major issue for drivers in DC, and we're really saddened to hear about the driver brother who was killed just recently in DC. And so, all of these issues, though, the only way that we're ever going to change them is to be united. And we, in New York City, in Philadelphia, in Austin, Texas, we're all part of the National Taxi Workers Alliance. And we await the day when we can say that the drivers of Washington, D.C. are also part of the National Taxi Workers Alliance. Well, how can we have a national movement if those that move the capital of this country are not part of it? We need the drivers in D.C. not only so we can improve the conditions in D.C. itself, but because only drivers, city to city, can build our power.
Well, that sounds great. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
That'll be great.